Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Millionaire Mindset season and training Women Rocking Business. Kine, it's so good to be here with you.
It's so good to be with you. I'm looking forward to some yumminess happening.
Oh my gosh. For those of you that don't know Kine Corder is a national certified counselor. She's the world's #1 financial hypnotherapist. She's also the CEO of Presidential Lifestyle and the co-founder of the Gyd App, which I'm excited to introduce you to. Before starting Presidential Lifestyle, you might have seen Kine on Oprah or on ABC's Extreme Makeover show. And since then, she's become a best-selling author. She's spoken on stages with Les Brown, JJ Virgin, Damon John, other well-known speakers. She's a career entrepreneur that helps others and helps leaders and helps healers solve their problems. She's so smart about mindset and financial mindset that I just had to have her here with you in this community. And Kine always says that her biggest accomplishment is not on her resume, but she's most proud of being an adoptive parent to twin daughters and a grandmother to 2 loving grandchildren. And she's got a firm yet gentle style of therapy that will wake you up and challenge you to go further than you've ever gone before, in my experience. Kine, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. And I appreciate that introduction. That was so sweet.
Every time you talk about just the mindset that we have to step into if we're going to grow our success, if we're going to grow our receiving muscle, if we're going to grow our money, every time you talk about the mindset, like I always just get on my phone, I'm taking notes. So can we just start there? Like, how did you come to be the impressive, spunky, radiant woman that you are? And talk to us a little bit about money mindset.
So some time ago, you know how people ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, my answer to that when I was really young was like happy. And that's because I went to a church that taught metaphysics. And so it was more about like how I wanted to feel. You know, when they say, what do you want to be? I'm like, oh, I want to be happy. You didn't ask me what I want to do. You asked me, what do I want to be? 2 different questions. So because I grew up in a church that was about metaphysics, I had a totally different idea of what it felt like to be successful and what it felt like to be wealthy. And some of that was monetary, but there was another part of that that wasn't getting calculated that I thought we needed to talk more about. Yes, wealth is part of it, but health is, adventure, love, legacy. Like, how do you want to be remembered? All of that is part of the mindset. I don't use that term as much. We really say your life set. What is your life set to? And then once you know what it's set to, you're like, okay, can I have some more? Oh, can I have some more? Oh, can I have some more? You know? So that's me in a nutshell.
You embody like the abundance of happiness. And I feel like you are attuned to a certain level of happiness. And my experience of you is that you're almost unwilling to go somewhere that you know would take you out of your happiness bubble.
Yeah.
So like, as we're stepping into more leadership and we find that maybe there's more responsibilities on our plate as women entrepreneurs, or we stumble into new levels of imposter syndrome, or who am I to really be doing this thing? Like, how can we stay in that happiness bubble?
Yeah. So there's like so much. I'm trying to see exactly where I want to go. And I want to kind of, and thankfully you guys are healers. So you know what I'm doing right now. I'm just connecting and I just want to see where the majority of the people are. Okay. So here's what I will say. The imposter, you talked about the imposter. So in our work in self-sync therapy, we look at it as the imposters on one end of the continuum, and then the authentic self is on the other side of the continuum. And we get all of these messages from parents, community, society, and every single message pushes us closer to the imposter. And it was go to school, get a good job, get a title, you know, have kids, get a dog, get married, For some of us, it was like, be heterosexual, and you're like, but I'm not, you know. So, so that like went out in the world, and you had to decide what of that you were gonna take on. And then you decided, you know what, I don't want none of that. Like I said, some people said, I'm not heterosexual. Some people said, no, you know what, I'm not gonna do that crazy work to get money. No, I'm not gonna work 17 hours a day. No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not gonna steal and fight and kill or whatever it takes to get money. No, I'm gonna do it being happy. And this, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I know that I'm gonna do it. So I bring that up to say that's step one. It's just like, you know what? These are my values. These, what we call our core values. These are my core values. This is how I want to get money. This is how I want to live life. This is how I want to have fun. Like my boyfriend, he loves going out to eat to have fun. That is so not fun to me. Restaurants, I have not found a restaurant that like brings me joy. I found restaurants that I like, but not like, ooh, yummy, yummy, yummy. I got a whole bunch of other stuff that I like to do that's yummy, yummy, yummy. But he's like, that's not that yummy to me. So we have to compromise. And he's like, all right, well, you go to this restaurant with me and I'll go to this healing circle drum thing with you, right?
That's a good exchange. I'll trade you one night at a restaurant for my night at the healing, kirtan, chanting, energetic drum circle, right?
Right. But we have to be clear on what is joy for us.
Right.
Now, I said we might compromise for our loved one, but we are consciously doing that. And like you said, Sage, when I walk into a room, if I see the energy is not right for me, I'm doing one of two things. I'm changing the energy because I got the power to do that, or I'm out of here. If I say, oh, this energy is bigger than me, I got to get out of here. I'm not, it's going to take too much work for me to change it. I'm out. And I'm unapologetic about that. And it's not my fault that the energy in this room pushed me out. You guys are in the right place. I'm just not. And I don't have any problem telling you that. So the second part of that is the confidence. But I was born with an extra dose of confidence. Now, the rest of you will have to work on it. But I was born with an extra dose of confidence. My first words were, you're bothering me. And I said it to my grandmother. So that just tells you I was born with an extra dose of confidence. I will say almost anything out my mouth if it is my truth. So if you're not there yet, then you're looking to evolve until you get to that place. But don't try to be Kine, because then that would be your imposter. You got to be your authentic self. So I have a gentle way. I have a way about me, but I also have a really bold, confident where people are like, ooh, don't mess with her. Like, you don't want to mess with her. But at the same time, she's so sweet and so loving, and she's gonna hug you, and then she's gonna shake the crazy out of you, and then she's gonna love you and hug you. She's gonna get that crap, get that imposter out of here, right? Then do a seance. So you gotta find your way, right? Your core value, and then the way of articulating that core value, which is gonna be different from the way Sage does it, the way Kine does it. You find your way. And then this third part is really, really, really important. And then it's timing. Don't rush it. We're all in a rush, including myself. I'm always in a rush too. It was slow down, slow down, slow down. Don't rush it. And don't get impatient with yourself, because it's not you, so to speak. It's your energy. So if you can shift your energy from focusing on, I gotta get, what is it? What's next, to going back to the being, just focus on being. What makes you happy? What makes you feel good? Go back to what makes you feel good. And then when you feel what makes you feel good, then go think about money while you're in that good feeling. Ooh, when I get that money, this is what I'm gonna do. Oh, I'm gonna feel like this even more, and connect those two. So that was a lot of information to answer your question, but I felt like I wanted to at least start there where it was giving you something. You might have to rewind this podcast to take those notes. I tend to talk really fast, but those 3 steps are gonna help you at least be gentle with yourself.
Can we review the 3 steps one real quick? Because I want to just make sure I got them down. Headlines of the 3
Okay.
steps.
Yeah, let's hope that my brain will recall this. I was speaking, the universe was speaking through me. You saw me channel. Okay, so I remember confidence was number two. And
Align with your values was number one,
there we go,
right?
number one. So align with your values. This is not a
Yep.
course. This was the universe speaking to you. So take note. So align with your values. And then you have to have the confidence to do them, be them,
Yes.
express them, articulate them. And
Yes.
then you need to be patient as you evolve into that person. Just because you decided this is your value doesn't mean today is the day that you are so convicted by it and you show up that way. Take some time to get there, because you're not going to wake up that way every day. And then if you don't wake up, this is a little bonus. If you don't wake up that day, it probably means you're not doing your work. So go do your work before you go serve others, and then you'll feel that way again.
I love it. You got to get into your vortex. And that's actually what I love about where Kine is coming from, and the process of becoming a well-paid healer, a well-paid mentor, a well-paid coach, consultant. The process of that is to actually become somebody who's inspiring. I know I was crabby a couple of days ago and I was like, I don't want to be inspiring today. And then I realized, I'm like, wait a second. I do want to be inspiring. I just need to shift my energy so that I can be inspiring. And if we're going to get paid to be inspiring, then isn't that cool? Because we actually have the responsibility, like you're saying, Kine, of filling ourselves up on a daily basis. And I so appreciated that you're like, hey, y'all, this isn't a course. This is the universe talking to you. You got to take notes. And that was like you owning, I'm channeling right now. I got some great stuff coming through me. It's for you. And I want to just put an exclamation point on that for all of you that are listening, that are saying, some of these templates aren't working for me. Some of these, like, here's the step-by-step of exactly how you do this, isn't working for me. And I just want to say, like, throw the templates out the door. Yes, there are strategies that you can use to blend with your awesome, authentic self. But when I asked Kine about imposter syndrome, she said, well, at the other end of that spectrum is your authentic self. And so we have to be able to identify what's in our way of being happy, and then be able to actually move toward the opposite. And so I just love that authenticity and exploring authenticity as the answer when we feel like an imposter.
Yeah. And I want to share this too, that some people's imposter is very wealthy. Yours might not be. So you need to see that. And it took me some time to see that. Like, I can look at you and tell whether you're being authentic or imposter, right? And I know some very wealthy imposters, and it saddens me, but I know that that is not my way of getting wealthy. So I can't go into phony girl and, try to be something else and make money. Universe is like, nah, that ain't gonna work. So I had to go into authentic self. So my statement or affirmation or whatever for many years has been, I get paid for being me. My life is very simple and easy. Now you got to write your statement, but I like a simple, easy life. Some people like it hard. I don't know. I like it simple. And I love being me. And I want to get paid for being me. That's it. That's all. I don't want to have to be in my imposter. And even if it means I get more money, if I'm fake and phony, I don't want that money. It's not going to feel good to me. I want the more money in my authentic self. And if that takes a little longer, I'm okay with that. And speaking of taking a little longer, if you have been in your imposter, you need to measure the distance between where your imposter is and where your authentic self is. Now you can run from there if you want to, but running means doing a lot of the work and clearing what was in the way, like Sage said, clearing what's in the way. You got to clear that stuff quickly. If you want to get there fast, you can, but you may not. So if you don't, just know this is you doing the work, peeling off all of those layers, getting all of those blocks out the way, because many of us have money blocks. Even the wealthy have money blocks. We need to be aware of that.
Mic drop. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you want to say to the women out there, the healers that are finding their way into valuing their gift? And like you said, we weren't always modeled by the world, our mentors, our family, the people we were supposed to be looking to say, like, how do I do this thing? And then we come into this world and we end up with this like crazy gift or this unicorn gift. And for many of us, like, we were the unicorns in our families. Like, people didn't really understand or see what we were seeing. I mean, I remember sitting at my table with my family and my brother and cousins and mom, and like, I couldn't figure out why we weren't talking about something real. I mean, it was just like for an hour, we were talking about stuff that didn't even matter. Right. And so I know so many of you can relate to that. And Kine, you've been on this journey of becoming so embodied in who you are.
Yeah. So this is what I would say. One, the journey is this journey, right? And you're going to evolve. I like to look at it sort of like I don't know, a staircase, I guess, because I feel like as we evolve, we're going higher and higher. And the only reason I don't like to say it like higher and higher, because it's like there was some version of you that was low, and now there's this version of you that's high. And I don't want you to interpret it that way, because there was never a wrong low version of you. It was just a different version. But these stairs are just taking you to another level, another version of your true authentic self. And so you might have, let's say in your mind, I remember when I was like, I think I might have been like 15 years old, and my mom was making six figures. And I was like, and that was a big deal for her. And she was like, she got to six figures and her bonus and da da da. And that was like all I could think about when I was like, I can't wait to get to six figures and get bonuses. What, I was an entrepreneur all my life. What was I getting bonuses from? I guess I was paying myself, but six figures was it, right? It was like six figures. I got to six figures and I was like, is there more? Right? And then you go multi six figures. And then you're like, okay, all right, that's cool. I see what we're doing. All right. And then there's seven figures, and then there's eight figures, and then there's nine figures, and there's 10 figures. It's like you go and you go and you go. That's the dollar amount. But what is going along with that dollar amount, right? So for me, there was the time when I was like so focused on the dollar amount. And then I shifted my focus to the number of people I wanted to heal. And oh my gosh, that made such a big difference in my life, just from the feeling that it gave me. Because I noticed that when I focused on the dollars, there was a little bit of an icky feeling. It was just like, felt like hard work to get there. And that was my icky feeling. And those are self-sync words. That's my, branding kind of thing. We call it icky and yummy. So if you feel the icky feeling, oh, that's not me. I'm in my imposter right now. And then I felt my yummy feeling when I focused on how many people I wanted to heal. And then from there, it shifted to how many other healers I wanted to help heal others. Because my mission, my vision is to change the way that we view and administer mental health, because I have set out to alleviate human suffering associated with mental health. That is my vision. Now, there's somebody else with a different vision, and I want my vision to connect with their vision and help them bring that to life. So I started working on an app so that I could do that. Heal in one, and that app originally was just for me to heal, just for me to work with people, so for me to use as healer. Then I said, why don't we let other people come onto the app and heal too? Because the numbers are so freaking simple. If you help 1,000 people and they pay you $1,000 a year, just made $1 million. I mean, it's just that simple. And there are 7 billion, more than 7 billion people in the planet. You telling me you can't get 1,000 of them together to listen to what you have to say? If you just get your message clear, they're there. Yeah. I just want you to sit with that for a moment.
Yeah, they're there. Nice deep breath, everyone. 1,000 people paying you $1,000. My first moment was, if I had 100 people investing in a $10,000 deep dive training program, that would be $1 million company. And then I'd be able to hire enough people where I could just do the things I want to do.
Mhm.
And that was like, boom, light bulb went out, not just out, light bulb lit up. And when I talk to you, it's like, that's what it is. And for every
Yeah.
single one of you listening, for you to have your own light bulb around what is the thing that lights you up. And I love the journey of moving away from what makes you feel icky and toward what makes you feel yummy,
Yeah.
because helping 1,000 people, that's yummy right there. Helping 10,000 people, helping 1,000,000 people. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, say more.
Yeah. And say, and I want to drive this point that you were making. So you had, and I said 1,000 people, $1,000. You said 100 people, 10,000, right? Somebody else might have a different combination of that number, but you have to find that combination, and it might not be 1,000,000. Your first number might be 500,000. It could be 250,000. It doesn't really matter what the
It could
number
be
is.
for some of you starting out, it could be 50,000. Some of us
Yeah.
are like, I need to make my basic $5,000 a month, Kine and Sage, I'm just getting there. And like, that's the stair stepping that Kine's
Yeah.
talking about, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking what Sage said, if you're like, oh, I'll just take what Sage said, 100 people paying 10,000, and it's not resonating with you, your life is not set to that. You're not aligned with that. You're just going to create more yucky, icky feelings, and they're never going to line up. And then you're going to be pushing and forcing and working, and it's going to just feel like yuck and not ever feel like yum.
We got to go for the yum.
Yes, exactly. So be very conscious about making it your own. I said I get paid for being me. I didn't say I get paid for being Sage, right? Because that would be very difficult for me. As awesome as Sage is, I would not make a good Sage.
And I want to be like Kine, but I really want to be like Sage first, and then a little dash of Kine because she's so cool, right?
Exactly. Right. And that's what you got to do. I got a little dash of Sage. I got a little dash of JJ. I got a little dash of Bree. I got a little dash of my sister, Kalisa, who is like the girly girl, which I don't know if you noticed. I'm not the girliest girl that you ever, even in my voice, you hear how masculine, almost forceful. I'm fussing, I'm preaching, I'm telling you what to do. But my mom and my sister are like so gentle and ladylike and girly. I'm working on that though. That's my 2023 version. A little bit more. I'm an extra dash. I'm getting a what do they call it when they drizzle? Yeah,
Little drizzle.
A little drizzle.
A little drizzle of the extra of the person you're looking up to. And we do, though, like we do become a bit of a mixture of the people we spend the most time with. And so I think that's just like a piece that you're really speaking to too, Kine, is like, let yourself move toward more money. Let yourself move toward more having. Do it in a way that feels yummy to you and ease yourself into it. Going back to step number 3 originally, which was to be patient with yourself. If you've never made $100,000 in your business before per year, like start there, start there and let yourself experience that, and then move to the $250,000, and then like to ease your way up so that you have things to celebrate along the way. And Kine, you and I started talking before this interview about how critical it is to reset when you've to not just think that original mindset's going to get you all the way through. Can you say more about that in these last few minutes we have together?
Yes. And also make a note that I want to go back to the templates that you talked about, where people say they didn't feel connected to that. So the mind, you've probably heard the word mindset a lot. And in our work, we call it lifeset. And so your life is set to something right now. And it comes from the programs that you were fed. And then you believe them. And the more you believe them, the more they became you. And so as you lived those beliefs out, your life got set to a certain thing. And it might have been go to school, get a job, get 2 kids, a husband, a dog, a house, whatever, the American dream. And then you're like, I don't really like dogs. Can I get a cat? Will that still be an American dream? Right? Okay, so I got a cat, but the man didn't work out, so I gotta get a new man. Is it okay to be divorced and get remarried? Is that still the American dream, right? You started like shaping this new American dream, and so you reshaped your life, you reset your life, and then that man brought out something in you that that old man didn't bring out in you, and you're like, oh, I get to be more in my feminine, and in my feminine, I want to heal more people, and then you were like, oh, I'm a healer. I'm a healer. Oh, I thought I was a coach. Okay. So-and-so is a coach, and I learned a lot from her, but I'm not a coach. I'm actually a healer, which is different, and that's okay. So then you went to another level and you evolved, and then your life got set to that, and you accepted that part of you. And then you became more aware of something else that was inside of you that you were like, wait a minute, I am a billionaire healer, like the billionaire healer. Yeah, that's who I am. Okay, now my life is set to that. And then you accepted that and you moved up. What did you need to adjust along the way? Now, this is part of our course. Awareness is number one. You got to be aware of yourself in each one of those steps. You notice that I mentioned that you became aware of yourself and then you accepted it, because you're not going to move up if you don't accept it. Then you're like, yep, I accept it. Billionaire. Yep, that's me. And then you're like, adjust. Okay, so what does a billionaire not do that I'm doing on a regular basis that I got to get rid of? Okay, no more of that. Ain't doing that no more. What does a billionaire do that I'm not doing? Okay, let's get some more of that in my life. You got to adjust. So those are the first three steps in our control the controllable. That's like our flagship guide to healing. And if awareness, acceptance, and adjust, you can really repeat those over and over and over throughout every step, because the more that you grow, the more you're going to have to become aware of yourself. And let me tell you, the more people you want to heal, the more you will grow. And the more the people you are healing grow, the more the universe will force you to grow. Because if you're going to continue to lead that community, you've got to lead that community.
Man, I'm taking some more notes. This stuff is good. I've never actually heard anybody match up the awareness, the acceptance, and then the adjust, because we always work on awareness and acceptance, but we don't always work on the adjust. Like, wait a second, I'm now, like, as a CEO, right? My company's gone from, $500,000 to $1 million to $2 million to $4 million to $5 million. It's like every single time it's a new job description. And I think that one of the places where the resistance comes in and the suffering comes in is when I don't adjust and go, oh, okay, this is what's being asked of me now. How do I adjust? How do I tune into what I need now? How do I tune into how to make this work for me? And I just want to put a stake in the ground for every single one of you to pay attention to that adjust, right? Because if you're stepping away from another career, if you're stepping away from another identity, Kine just role played that so beautifully. It's like, oh, I am a healer now. It's time for me to own that. Right. And you're going to be able to release a lot of the suffering and the baggage that we end up dragging along on our journey to success.
Yes. And that's actually a great segue to get us to those templates that we talked about. Some people reach back out and they say, wait, it's not resonating. I'm not getting it to work. I don't know how to do it. Well, part of that is because it is a template, which means you didn't put enough of you in it. And a template is great. It gets you really far, especially if you need to practice, because that's what it is. Like, I'll use Kobe Bryant. He was taught to play basketball a certain way, and he did it that way for a while. And then he learned his own way. So there was a template for playing basketball for him. And then he was like, you know what? But I'm a little taller than that person who taught me. And I'm a little leaner, or I'm faster. So I don't have to do it exactly the way they did it, because usually the way they did it is because of who they were. So you just need to adjust, going back to adjust the template to you. It might have said 3 steps, but you're like, you know what, 5 is better for me. It might have said, oh, you need to call yourself a healer. And you're like, no, preacher, minister is better for me. Okay, well, you'll be the minister, right? You make it adjust to you, because the templates are just for practice. And then you just need to show up.
Amen. And a woman. And I want to just freaking underline that, because without enough you, nothing's going to work. And
Yeah.
so, we need the strategies and we need you in them.
Yeah.
And, Kine, I think one of the things that I so respect that you are here to change the way mental health is done on the planet. Like, you're bringing such a fresh perspective to how we do mental health. I want to just let, especially the healers who are here listening and those who know you're a millionaire healer, I want you to know about this app that's coming out so you can tune in to Kine and get updates and check it out when it comes out. So how do we do that?
So we're building an app, as I mentioned before, and it's specifically for healers. It is where people go to either observe healing happening because they may not be ready just yet, or they can interact and they can get healing themselves. And you as a healer, kind of like OnlyFans for healers, you as a healer can charge and get paid right in the app. So you don't have to sell your body, you can sell your healing. I'm being silly. But so that is what the Gyd app is, what we call it, but it's spelled GYD, stands for Grow Yourself Daily, and we call it the Gyd app, and it is being released just for healers. So you'll go to presidentiallifestyle.com/GYD, which I'm sure will be in the show notes.
Yeah. And if you're a healer and you want the healer's version, you can go to presidentiallifestyle.com/GYD-healers. And we're going to put that link in the comments with this video and in the show notes. So wherever you're watching, I would click on that link and fill out that little form. And that way you're going to be in the loop in the Cool Kids Club for the Millionaire Healer journey.
Yes, because why it's important that you go to presidentiallifestyle.com/GYD-healers with an S. The reason why that's important is because if anything I said today, you were like, oh yeah, I want her to go on the journey with me as I become the blank, blank healer I'm becoming, then this is the way that we get connected. I'm building my network just like I'm thinking you're building your network. And like Sage said, we're pulling a little bit of all the people around us to become who we are becoming. So if anything I said, you're like, oh yeah, I want a little piece of that, then this is how we do that. We fill out that form. Either me or my assistant will reach out to you and I'll make sure that you're a good fit for the app. And if you are, then I'll tell you what to do next. And if you're not, we still need to stay connected because there's something attracted you to me. And who am I to not be attracted to you if you are attracted to me? I say, bring it on. Let's see. might need to drizzle a little of you on me.
And we can drizzle a little bit of each other on our heart, souls, and become even more fully unleashed into the expressive, incredible women leaders we all are. So head over to presidentiallifestyle.com/GYD-healers with an S, click the link here in the comments and the show notes. And we're so proud of every single one of you who is continuing to rise through all of the curveballs that come when you continue to transform your identity and step into the healer that you are and step into a more abundant mindset and to move toward a millionaire mindset. And Kine, I can't help but just feel sparklier every time I'm in your presence. So thank you for all the work you've done to claim your own happiness and to have that be your set point and to be willing to make up your own rules, but not lose the sort of savvy, strategic part of you. And thank you for inspiring us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I just love that we were able to do it just like that.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone. Keep shining your light. Go follow Kine at the website we gave you, presidentiallifestyle.com/GYD/
And also on
healers.
TikTok.
And also follow Kine on TikTok. Smart woman. Bye, everyone. Don't forget to hit subscribe so I can keep getting you weekly content to grow your business that is relevant, authentic, and effective. so you can get out there and shine your light and be the messenger that you're here to be, because your clients are waiting for you.